friends, hello and welcome! How excited for Under Lilies are we? Because I'm very excited. How's it going, y'all? How are things going? Jody, thank you for the subscription, friend. I hope you're doing well. Welcome, y'all. It is time, as I said this morning, but we'll say again, it's Wednesday, my dudes. Ah! Won't scream any more than that. But yeah, we're here. It's going. I'm excited to play this dang game. Not excited for the catacombs, but I'm still excited. So that's a thing. Grip it and rip it. That was a bad opening of a can. Note to self. Don't use my left hand to do it. But yeah, how's it going? How's everyone doing? It's been a day. It's gotten better. Thanks. Yeah, I don't have much to say other than like I'm just kind of ready to go. So like, y'all want to go? Should we just like do the thing? Let's just do the thing. I'm gonna interrupt that real epic music to bring up this really not sad. I wouldn't call it sad, but more. I have no idea what I'm trying to say. We're gonna do the things. It's gonna be great. I need to drink more water because I've done it bad today. What did we get? We got Fallen Archer, which I don't think I'll use, and I don't think I can enhance anyone. I think that's what we did before we quit previously, as I'm thinking about it. We are still in the catacombs. I gotta remember all the controls. Remind myself that this is not bloodstained. Down. We gotta like go everywhere, basically. Let's go this way. Wait, what's down here? Oh! I don't want to go that way. Also, what was that? Don't know. Wandering around the hallways over there, buddy? Right! That's there. I can't go this way just yet. That's the thing that we thought was like a dragon or something. But probably just has blight on it. Can we go over here? We were backtracking some, weren't we? It's all we're doing in video games now, is just backtracking. We were doing that so that we could go through all the water levels, right? Because we can swim now. But then we realized that there's still not much that we can do in the water levels. And so, here we are. Gosh darn catacombs. I'm doing it bad. Hey, spider friend. Can we not hurt me? I love this game, though. I'm so happy that we're playing more of it. It's so pretty and so wonderful. I never want to stop playing. This doesn't work anymore. That is the way that I have to go, though. Okay. Can we just... Hey, crow friend. Okay. I would like to get through here without dying, preferably. The heirloom of Land's End. The guardian heirloom of the White Priestesses is said to house a warding power that protects one from enemies and the suffering caused by purifying the blight. It is unknown who created it or by what means, only that it somehow came into the possession of the first White Priestess long ago. The heirloom of Land's End. Oh, that's just telling me it's added to the file thing. Alright. Well... It's too much platforming. Please! Please! Sarah, hi! How's it going? How are you doing? How was your stream earlier? Ugh. How are things, friend? Please. I need to not die! Luna, hello? Worlds of Worship. OBS crashed on you? No! I'm sorry, friend. Have you figured out what caused the crashing? Also, Travis, thank you for getting those shoutouts out there for us. Still trying to fix it. Yikes! Oh, yeah. I saw it's been trying to, OBS has been trying to get me to update for the last, like, week or so, and I refuse to. I usually wait, like, a good solid month for the update. Yikes. Always gotta skip. Right? Hi, Bunno! How's it going? I mean, that's one reason why I always put off the update, is because it asks me, like, right as I'm getting ready to stream, and it's just like, hey, no. Well, we can help with that. Let's de-stress with some sad little cinnamon roll. It's great. Thanks! We were talking about it at the earlier stream, but I finally got, like, little rubber bands again, so I can start doing my hair up. And the space ones have grown since this morning, because I had to put them back up, and they just have gotten bigger. I'm ready to have my hair up like this all the time, though. It's gonna be great. This is the default hairstyle for me. Not only is it super cute, it's extremely practical. And, doesn't make my head hurt. Bad. But thanks. I'm sure everyone understands. It's easy enough to miss messages. Or be in the middle of chatting. It's harder now to try and get the split color on the right side of the parting, though. I mean, my hair is all just the one color. Well, two colors, technically, because I haven't done my roots recently. Oh. Oh, sorry, I missed the first message. Yeah, no, I can see it being difficult for you. Getting, having the two colors in your hair to get it. You should still do it, though, because it's gonna be super cute. Thanks, friends. Not cool face. Not cool face. I miss Dennis already. I need to go back and watch Fruity's VOD for that dang game. Front mission. That's what I'm thinking about. Fucking hell. But it's great too, because then I can just watch Sarah when she plays it. And I'm here for that. I gotta find a time to redo my hair, because I liked I liked the blue that I did, but it did not stay. And I've got purple just as a backup. I bought extra purple as a backup in case the blue was bad. Where did the music go? And so now I just have to determine when I want to do my roots so that I can do the rest purple. And that just sounds like a lot of effort. I could just watch Sarah and let it be a surprise. Or I could do both minus the surprise. I have faith in Cool Phase. Alright, Frasia's Memoirs! Number 3. Nightmare at the Twin Spires is finally over. I've never seen so much death, never had to purify so many unspeakable sights. Can anyone fathom the pain I bear? Lately, numbness infiltrates my body, kind of unrelated to the pains of the blight. Were it to reach my right hand, how could I draw him the picture I promised? Frasier, what? Ma'am, what? Can't get up there. This sounds like a boss area. I am concerned. Or maybe it's just a new area. This is fine too. Oh! Not disappearing, reappearing crows. Okay. It's fine. We just gotta dodge flop out of the way, and it'll be fine. Bad crows. Can I not? I can't progress here. Because I can't jump that far. So we gotta go down. I did all that basically for nothing. That's a problem.
Some eat ice cream when they stress. I buy bits laughing face.
Thank you, Sarah, for the bits. But also, don't stress spend too much. Oh! Secrets. But I do appreciate it. Thank you, friends. Can we not be here? So that we're gonna go down, I guess. There is that platform that we can jump through. We do love smiling. Look, I'm just happy that I can provide some cool content for folks. I like making things that y'all dig. Oh. That wasn't great. Didn't do that fantastic. In fact, quite unfortunate. What? Why are you yelling at me? Would you like to come here? Excuse me, Lamia. Lamia needs attention. Hello. What do you need? Would you like to come here? You get to say hello to everyone, though. Yeah. Are you pleased with this situation? Is this what you wanted? Yeah? Would you like to sit in my lap? Are you actually going to sit in my lap? Because if you hop down, I'm not picking you back up. That's how this works, and you know that? It is the llama cat. Hey, no bites. No thank you. Hi. She been sleeping all day. She's only woken up a couple of times. Come bother me. And then she promptly jumps away. Tries to go back to sleep. And it's like, you can do that, but you don't get to be mad at me when you hop away. Hello. She's grumpus. It's great. It's fine. Oh, we're gonna die again. I don't want to. I would prefer not dying. I completely missed that jar man. Oopsies! We can't get over there, can we? No, it's too high. We've got to get like another, not necessarily a jump. Fruity would say a quadruple jump, but there's got to be like another. There's got to be another jump, basically, is the only thing that I can think of. Or a web. I think that was the other thing that we, like, agreed would be a possibility. Which would be pretty cool. But I'm not thinking of a quadruple jump. Incorrect. Are they, I think, okay, so his pot, much darker than the other ones we have seen. I think that's the tell? See your quadruple jump nonsense reminds me of this joke that Emmy and I do every once in a while from Sherlock. In the first episode, and the dude's like, maybe it's a double bluff or a triple bluff, and then we just continue on with that for far too long. Kind of like the quadruple jump. Goodbye, spider. And that's all that the quadruple jump thing makes me think of. Fucking hell. Where is this door? Is that it? Or is that where I just was? I think that's where I just was. That's where I just was. We were just here. And I can't go in there. I do need to heal, though. Ew. Over the bad water? Sorry, I'm like... I don't know what's happening anymore. Fuck. Oh, the spiders. Yeah, they're not great. We only want them if I can have their bad butt rope. Because then it would be a good butt rope. Well... yeah, they're dumb. They can do close-up attacks, and there we go. No, no, I saw that you were a bad man, Lamia. Hey, I love you, Bean, but I'm gonna need to set you on the ground because you keep nudging my arm when I go to move, and that's not great. Would you like a treat? Haven't had it today. She's very happy about this. She's very excited. There is good butt rope, Fruity, actually. Actually, I think you're wrong. I think you mean there is good butt rope. Look, look, smell, look, look. I've thrown them. They're everywhere. Go get them. Yeah, yeah. Good butt rope. Sorry, I also like... the buns are like the size of my fucking head. My face and these buns are proportionate. And it's wild. I just caught sight of it in the camera and it tickled me a little bit. Look, we aren't going to be the ones who... Oh, I want that though.
There is no good butt rope.
There is though. There is though, Sam. And we've missed you. And I'm very happy you're here. But I'm sorry to tell you that you are wrong. There is good butt rope. But hi, Sam. How's it going, friend? How are things? Hold on, I gotta move my microphone out of the way just a smidge. We love you and miss you. Oh! I managed not to die, and that's extremely exciting for me. Okay. We're doing alright. Things have been a little weird lately, but that's okay. We're not doing too terrible now, though. Look, we got a dodge flop going, and that's pretty awesome. Okay. We love and miss you too. I know you've been busy, and that's okay. But just know that your presence has been missed. Alright. So that's everything here in this area. We have picked everything up. You got robots. We got robots. Oh, again, it helps to look back at chat and see what's happening. I'm an idiot today. It's fine, don't mind me. Yeah, sorry. We said robots and I panicked. With all the nonsense that's been going on. I just... was a little spooked, but it's fine. It's all good. It's, again, mostly my fault for not looking. Not getting all the context. How the fuck? I'm trying to...
My apologies.
Sarah, it's okay. It's all good. I need to be better about reading all of chat. I also need to stop getting shot. Please. Where? There. I can't get there though. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? I mean, it's gotta be here, right? This one? Good. I need to set up a full-on panic button, but it takes me all of like 3 clicks to handle it. If bad things happen, either stupid bots or a hate raid, so like we're good to go. Shouldn't be too bad though. Because I do have higher security in the chat now. Can you not hit me, ma'am? Okay. We need to go back to the save area, which is great, because I need my heals back. And then we're gonna jump down a hole. Whether it's a good hole or a bad hole has yet to be determined. Because it'd be too much. It'd be too much. I appreciate you trying to single-handedly do a hype train. Don't gotta ask me twice, Bono. Let's go. Halloween will definitely be a different situation because like everyone's gonna be prepared for it. They're less prepared. Oh boy, less prepared for it now. I need these bad spiders. Stop shooting stuff at me with their booty holes. Do they mind? Right, I can't get up there either because I can't jump! Bad booty holes. Ah! Also, no, that's an absolutely solid plan, Rudy. Not the bugs. I don't think I can... Sorry, I'm trying to, like, recall where we were. Fucking hell. Where were we? She's taking a quick nap. It's fine. I get it. I nap right here. I take nap right here. I don't think I can make it. Sorry, I'm trying to like recall the map so we can figure out where we're supposed to go. Sarah, thank you for the bubble. I know, I absolutely appreciate that dying doesn't cost you anything except your time. I don't necessarily mind games that punish me for death, i.e. Dark Souls, but it's nice to just have a a game where I can do whatever. Please. You shouldn't be able to get in here. Okay. Got Frog Kelpman and Kelp Frogman handled. Not even a problem. No, don't shoot me. Both attorneys. One's a prosecutor, the other's a defender. We have determined that. Yeah. Thank you, Freddie. Right. We didn't finish going this way because we died last time. But I do believe that this is the way that we are supposed to go. I mean, what do you mean? We would never forget lore. Ever. That looks bad. Can I? Hell yeah, I can. Hell yeah, I can. I really like... I mean, I love looking for secrets in games like this. I find it to be extremely delightful. However, there is something extremely satisfying about the secrets in this game in particular. I don't know. It's just, it's very good. This feels like malpractice, boys! Boys! Got away with like no health! Oh, that was terrifying! Not even close, baby! Now we got this. It's fine. Everything is fine. It's all fine! We leveled up. See? Told you, it's fine. More secrets. I can't go down there yet, though. Where do I unlock that from? Eee! Oh! Look at me! Finding all the secrets! I should finish exploring in here before we go down into the hole. It's very good. Everything about this dang game, I love it. Everyone should pick up Ender Lily and play it. Everyone. Good game. Good. It's okay. It's understandable. That's acceptable. If there's a corgi puppy. If there's a corgi, but a puppy especially, you gotta. Yeah, that's the correct reaction. I would be concerned if that wasn't what happened. Alright, hold on, let me get more comfy. I'm a little too relaxed in my chair right now. Frasia's Memoirs 4. Always talking about a successor, within earshot no less. Have I outlived my usefulness? Talks of royal blood, of succession. I don't understand. I have no desire of birthing a child. Puppy's name is Merlin? I love him. Let's rest up here. Now that we have a new area.
Trav, food.
Why did she sound so aggressive? Kimmerald! Also, hi, Allie, I love you, but Kimmerald's got some sass right now. I'm not the only one who heard it, right? Like, y'all heard that sassiness, right? Travis has to eat his pho. It's true. That was... Goodness. I've never heard Kimmerald be that pointed with anyone. That would be sometimes. Nah, Kimmerald saw what Allie was trying to say and was like, I got you, girl. Goodness gracious. Okay, I don't think I can get up there. I absolutely cannot get up there. That's okay. Go eat your pho. Pho. Can we... I need to go into the secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Through the catacombs. Secret tunnel. It's been a minute since we made that reference. It's fine. Doop. Thank you, Bono. I need everyone to join me in on the chorus. Secret tunnel. I interrupted what Umbral Knight was saying, but we got an ancient soul, which means I can upgrade the Umbral Knight. Powerful residue, shed from an ancient people, unlike those of the kingdom, allows for the Umbral Knight's skills to be enhanced at respites. That's okay. You just need to know secret tunnel. That's it. Maybe even throw in a through the mountains. That's it. That's all you got. Ferdy, have you seen Avatar? The Last Airbender. Not the M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong version. We don't talk about that one. No. I'd 100% be here for Avatar, honestly. Whenever. Yeah. That's his name, right? Not with Shyamalama Ding Dong. Not with him. Incorrect. Not right. I can upgrade him twice! He's at level 3 now. That's extremely exciting for me. But can I upgrade anyone else? Ooh. No. I mean, I can, but it's not worth it. Where else am I supposed to go? Hiccups. Oh, that one hurt. Well, you can still hate orbs, but we do gotta watch Avatar: The Last Airbender now. That's facts. It's so good. The Happening. Is that an M. Night Shyamalan? I'm done. I don't know that I am. Oh, hi! He's just standing there with me. Bad guy is the wind. You know what? I feel like M. Night had some potential back in the day, and then he got sucked up so far up his own ass that it just turned into pretentious nonsense. They're gone. For now. Hiccups are gone for now. Don't even worry about it. There is no scaring my hiccups. There's only suffering through them. How do we... There's gotta be a way for us to, like, jump off on enemies, right? I imagine I saw some of the trailers for Old, and I was like, this is just gonna be a mess. Like, it looked bad. I feel like I don't know that they can give any sort of twist that wasn't already revealed in the trailer. His name was Giuseppe. Why is it like this? Stop! Monsters, all of you. Fucking hell. Wait. Was Will Smith's son in one of M. Night's movies? What? Oh, isn't that Pursuit of Happiness? No. Yes? No. No, they're in space. Okay, yeah, I have no idea then. Wasn't one of Will Smith's kids in Pursuit of Happiness like it was actually his child? His baby? Wasn't it Willow or something? I don't fucking know. I know nothing. Same. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm just throwing out names and places and things and hoping that something sticks. After Wait, Jada was in Pursuit of Happiness? I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in actual years. I watched it the once and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch Avatar. Like, I refuse. I refuse to watch that abomination. No, Fruity. No. Fruity, no. Unacceptable. Where the hell are we? No, the bad spin-off of the live action version of Last Airbender. The abomination that was the live action The Last Airbender. Blue tail sex Avatar was fine. It was okay. It was long-winded, but that was James Cameron, wasn't it? That tracks for him. Where the fuck am I going? I feel like that's appropriate. That's all you need to know, really. Realistically. I don't know where I'm going. I don't feel like I can get anywhere in this dang catacomb. Unless I'm, like, missing a move that they told me I have that I don't actually have. Or I have a move that I have forgotten that I had because they didn't properly tell me that I had the move. Not Frog Kelpman. I do love this area's music. I mean, all the music is really great, but this area in particular, probably my favorite. Also, mushroom people. What's not to love? We definitely have not been over here before. I did that bad. Salmon? Oh! Secrets. Also, he does so much damage now! Well, is there a cabbage man in that one? Because if there's no guy screaming about his cabbages, then it's even worse than I thought it was. Absolutely worst. Like, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. If you were gonna throw out all of the source material If you had to throw out all of the source material, but choose to keep one thing, you keep Cabbage Man. It's a fair response, Sam, honestly. Tarnished picture! Picture of the White Priestess of the Fountain. It appears that the White Priestess was allowed entrance to the Coven, space usually exclusive to sorcerers, and a magical tool was made there for her. Aww. Aww. Okay, what is down here? I don't know that I want to fall down there. I don't like coming across all the bodies of the White Priestesses. Makes me sad. Okay. Where do I have to go to make that open? There it is. I saw it. I saw it. I just gotta fall down on the left-hand side of the thing. Of the thing. You know, the thing that we did? That's not where I need to be. I need to be up here. Let's go! Frog Kelpman's trying to come get me, and he needs to stop. I don't know him. Let's go! Gotta loot the bodies. We're too late. Priestess's wish. Fleeting wish left behind by a white priestess at the moment of her death. Those who live can only carry on the hopes of the lost. Priestess's quarters? They lived in such a place? That just means I can heal for more, and that's pretty dope. I like that. It is really sad. I wish all the priestesses were alive and well. Oh, it's timed. Oh, it's timed. I thought so. I could hear it making noise even after we flipped the switch. Okay, are we ready? Let's go! I'm gonna need you to swim real fast, okay? Okay? Go, 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 go! You did it. It's always gonna be timed, and that's extremely unfortunate. New place, though. Okay, okay. I am concerned. But I want up there, ma'am. Sounds good. Hopefully it all works. Thanks for the lurk. Okay. I don't like it when there's no music. It makes me really uncomfy. have a map anymore? Furious Blight. Ouch. Nope. We need to heal up. How much does it give us now? Okay. We're gonna go ahead, clear the way. See what's here. I don't like it. I don't like it. Not... I can't say that I am a fan. I gotta flop dodge all the way there. Can't say I'm scared of him so much as I am just concerned. Okay, flop dodging, not great. How do I get here? Jump flodge. That was closer. Right, I'm not sure that this is how they want me to do this. Ah, I don't think it is! How am I supposed to get in here, though? No, that takes too long to get up. Ah! I wonder if I can yeet Blob Boy through. Fuck! That's not the button. I'm gonna try one more time. I'm just gonna run. Because I don't know if the jumping's actually making it faster. God, he looks bad, though. What can I do? I'm not wrong, though. I wonder if there's a way I'm thinking out loud and I need to not, but I need to. My first assumption. Fill the hallway with water and then swim through. I don't think that's correct. But that is what my brain has told me I need to do. It's unfortunate. I want to get up there. Which leads me to believe I need that big jump before I can do anything. Either the big jump or like the web or whatever it is that we get that extends our jump. Right? What? Yeah, quadruple jump. The double jump. Or the triple jump. Or the quadruple jump. I'm gonna have to constantly do this again, though. Oh! Furious Blight. Gotta love it. That is everything here. It's all the items here, at least. Yeah, I don't know what to do back there. Where Meat Man is. So we'll just continue on somewhere else. I feel like, I know we're not done with the catacombs, but I feel like so much of the catacombs is inaccessible without the quadruple jump. I don't want to keep calling it that. But what else am I gonna call it? This is where we fought the witch. No. That's where we came in. Okay. Never mind. Got all excited. That's not where we fought Eileen. I do like how strong I am now. Those upgrades for the Umbral Knight, very good. Yeah, and I can't get up there because I gotta get that extended jump. I don't want to say I'm running out of things to do. I'm kind of running out of things to do, I think. Okay, no. Unhelpful. That's fine. It's fine. Get up there. No, I'd have to get to that pillar, right? Yeah, I can't progress past that. Which, okay, fine. Okay, fine. Unfortunate. But we can work with it. Hey, if all of you could stop hitting me, that would be great. know there's, like, places at the beginning of the game that we haven't checked out, but we don't have a key for it, and... we don't have the extended jump. The extended jump is really what's kind of killing us right now. Is this... Is this past that pillar? I have no idea. Yes? Yes. Okay. Have I been over here, though? I don't think I have. Ooh, no, I have. I'm so excited. Okay, so the exit is at the top of that... On top of that cliff, which I cannot reach. Extremely unfortunate, that. I am at a loss for where we need to go. Let's go over to the save spot, so we can fast travel to other places. Excuse me. I can also upgrade some stuff, because I think I have enough Furious Blight to upgrade some things. Snacks! 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 I don't have enough to upgrade them. Dang. Or at least any of the ones that I use, I can't upgrade. We are gonna save, it's been a minute. No, let me rest. Let's fast travel. I'm gonna go back to the very beginning of the game. But I don't think I could get anywhere because I need a key for the one room, right? And then this one requires a double jump? I'm pretty sure we need to come back here at, like, the end of the game. That's my assumption. We're gonna try anyway, because I don't know where else we can try. Also, recheck for secrets. Maybe if you're feeling like it, maybe just like a push in the right direction. Because again, like, I don't think I can... There wasn't... Let's go through our map real quick. So this is all the very beginning area, right? We've cleared all the rooms except for... Well, I mean, like, we've gotten all the items in this, but there is in... I'm gonna try and, like, center everything. In this particular room with the save spot, we can't go up because we don't have a jump. I'll still go double check it, but I'm pretty sure we can't do that. I don't know what's in this room. Oh no, maybe this is the jump room. This might be the room where we have to jump in. But, back at the very beginning of the game, where, hold on, it says there's a, it's gotta be up there, right? I can't get up there. But yeah, there's a door blocked by, like, the Priestess of the Wind or something like that. That has a statue that I can't access. This. There's one of these doors in the forest, I think. We just saw it recently, but I can't open it because I don't have whatever item or key or whatever to unlock it. There is a space up here that I can't access yet. And then the town is done except for a couple of spaces, but I can't jump or it's blocked from the other side. We were going through the catacombs. Is the last place that we were kind of left off on. We did try to go back through the forest to fight Meat Monster, but I can't get into Meat Monster. There's a lot of places in the catacombs that I feel like I need that extended jump for. Which, again, like, I feel like I need to get, like, a move for that. Sorry, let me stutter and stumble over my words all of a sudden. So if I can figure out where that is, what boss has that? That would be cool. I need to know what area I'm supposed to be in. Excuse me, I need some water. Let's rest real fast. I could go check that room, but like I said, I don't think I can do anything there. I think the last save spot in the catacombs that we were at was the ossuary. Ossuary. The bone zone, if you will. Sorry. I have no regrets. Fucking hell. Not wrong. Yeah. Let me try and get it all in frame here. Hold on. I'll get rid of my face so you can see the whole dang map. Generally, left-hand side of the map is the starting area. Top is where the village was. The right-hand side is the catacombs, and the bottom is the forest. If that makes sense. Like, I generally know what the areas are, and I can almost tell you which... At least the rooms that aren't complete, I can kind of tell you, like, which rooms they are. But... Again, for the most part, like, any of the rooms that I haven't accessed, it feels like it's because I can't. It's either blocked off, inaccessible, because I don't have a move, or just too dang hard to get to. And I'm sure one of these paths lead somewhere that I'm supposed to go, or there's something that I'm missing. I just don't know where it is, and it's very difficult to keep track of. Excuse me. I don't like it when I stretch and my sternum cracks. You kinda getting an idea? There are... Yeah, I'd imagine. And that's the other reason why I'm having a hard time, like, keeping track of everything, because it's like, alright, like, I gotta keep track of where we've been, but also remember exactly, because There's so much to keep track of. And we gotta double back pretty regularly, which I don't mind having to double back. But my complaint about the map stands, especially in regards to having to backtrack. Like, I wish the map was a little more like what you've got in, like, Symphony of the Night or Bloodstained. I like those maps because it actually shows me, like, what the rooms are like. Well, hey, while we're figuring this out... It's okay, Fruity. I can keep wandering around. It's fine. I'm trying to think of, like, the last spirits that we got were. The last one that we picked up was the Fallen Archer, which we got in the catacombs. Which doesn't necessarily help. Like I said, we can keep wandering around a bit. It's fine. But yeah, like I need to... That's the other place that I can jump to. Or the other place that is marked on the map as a way of getting through. Cool, fine. Fine, cool. But I can't get up there / down there. I'm sure that's an exit more than it is. Let's go to the Great Hall. We can wander around here a bit more. Right. Can't do that because it's locked. How do I get down there, though? I imagine from one of the many open doors in that area. Every time? We gotta do this every time we come through here? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. This is a lot more manageable now that we've upgraded the Umbral Knight. A little less upset about it. I don't think I can go through the path on the left-hand side like they are suggesting I do, though. Yikes. Yikes! I guess, do you have an area name? Maybe? Even if you can't pinpoint it on a map. Although I realize you probably need the map to help gauge where we are. Ah! Boss. Okay. Looking around, something is involved. You're on a video guide now. Probably, easier to understand, I imagine. Like, okay. Here is the map of the catacombs, right? It's fine. We'll keep wandering around in here. Figure out how to get there. I guess as long as I know that I can get there from here. That's the thing, because, like, I felt like we were wandering around and not really getting anywhere. Are you gonna blow up or not, dude? Please, ma'am. That is a little secret jump over there. Thank you. Okay. How do I get there? I think that area is... I think that's too high for me to jump. From this one? Or from this one? Tech said a lot about looping. Okay. That's fine. As long as I know that that's what I'm supposed to be doing, I will gladly continue to just wander around. But see, here's another one of those doors that I can't access just yet. You had a fun-filled supper? For this one to the right? Okay. Yeah. That's what they said. We'll get there. Let's just go ahead and fast travel over there. I don't want to have to... Well... Have to go down then up. Weird. Okay. Alright, alright. Again, as long as I know that... See, like, because I need to... I feel like... It's a problem. I hate having to change my passwords. For that exact reason. I can't walk on these chains. I want to get up there. I'm sure this is how we'll get out from the boss, or maybe possibly get out from a boss area. Down, 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 down. We're going further down. What happens when the phone dies, though, Allie? What happens when the phone no longer remembers? Oh, okay, okay, I see, I understand. All hail the cloud. Okay, okay, alright. Oh, I'm just gonna break that open. Yeah, but how do I get there? Chrome offers to make new passwords for me, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. Fruity's behind on the times. Okay, okay. I'll trust you this time. Never Firefox. Never Firefox, buddy. Is it? It is there. Okay. I didn't think I could, though. Fucking hell. Rude. No, rude. Is it though? I mean, I guess Firefox is fine. Never Safari though. Not ever. Are you shitting me? I could have gotten here this. Please. Fair point. Well, that's a mistake. Not Safari. I remember having to use Safari a ton. Back in like middle school, because we only had Max in our like talented and gifted class, and I hated it. Please just jump over here, bud. Okay. Not Internet Explorer. I mean, sure, it makes sense to like use it because it's the default, but I hated using it. Navigating it was awful. Also, we got where we needed to go. Fucking hell, go away. Get! Big chompy boy. Okay, new area discovered. I need this stupid pot boy to stop doing a chomp on me. Look at that, secret lever. Edge also sucks. These are facts. Secret lever! Secret lever! Through the catacombs! Secret, 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 secret lever! Okay. We have no health. And no heals. And, yeah. Life's hard. I somehow miraculously blocked that. I didn't realize that was a thing I could do. It's fine. We've died, but we know where we're going. Hi, Devo. Secret Devo! Secret Devo! From the bedroom! Secret, 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 secret Devo! Bullet parry. It's a thing. Hella. I mean, I knew I had the, like, the parry move, but I only ever use it when I'm moving! Oh, right, I gotta kill all these guys. Please. Please. Okay. No secret to nothing sneaky about him. Facts. It's true. He's a very loud, very present boy. He will let you know what's going on and what's happening at all times. Because that's what Devo do. Please. Please. Spiders. Please. Spiders. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay. Alright. Or the best spy? No one would expect that loud boy to be a spy. I need to stop at the little save zone that is below us, so I don't have to keep going through here. Because right now, this is awful. And we keep making the mistake of going through it. Gotta go down some more. Stop. sure what he was doing. He's clawing at his scratching post. That is acceptable. Very odd sound. No, it's cool, it's cool. You found it faster than I would have. Plus we got to wander around. Get some experience. Look at that, we're almost level 42. We're not allowed to level up past 42. Obviously. I need to go to the save spot that's over there. Gotta get the nice number. Okay, no, that's fair. We got levels that we're aiming for. 42 is gonna be great. 69 is gonna be awesome. Then we gotta cap at 69 though, because I don't think levels go up to 420. Which is a dang shame. Stop. Yeah, it looks like it's just supposed to be 2 digits, which... fine, I guess. Oof. No! I need these worms to stop. 99 is just 69, just a little different. A lot less fun. 99 is like spooning, isn't it? That's just a spoon, my dude. It has to be spooning, right? Like, what else is that gonna be? No. I'm facing the wrong way! Okay. And 96 is weird cuddles. Correct. Ouch. Okay. What is up here? Oh! Annula fragment. More health. There's stuff up there, and I want it. Can we go up more? No, you're going the wrong way. No, you're going the wrong way. No, you're going the wrong way! Another secret lever. I gotta be on the lookout for secret levers. Fucking hell. Okay, alright. Fucking man. Stop. 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 Okay, well, what else is here? Bad things. We do love Goop Baby. Goop Baby is very good. Ah! Absolutely. I love Goop Baby. dependable, reliable, Goop baby. Best baby. There's a thing over here, and I want it. Chain of sorcery! We can have more relics. I think we've gotten, like, a couple of those. Which is nice, because there were a few relics that I wanted to use. But could not, because we did not have the space for them. I would like a save spot. Looks like a training area. Perhaps you are one used by her guardian? We're gonna be able to get to our save spot soon. We're just gonna go up. Maybe. There are too many people on these bridges, and I need them to go away. Fuck yes! Oh my god, okay. Holy shit. Oh, I'm sitting like on the edge of my seat. I need to not, because that means I end up slouching. Okay, alright, alright. What can I say? Wandering around makes me singy. White priestess, impart upon me your blessing. I hope that my songs aren't too annoying. I'm sorry. Sometimes I like to just sing a little too. It's the best way to get through the frustration. Just sing a little song. It's fine. Okay, good. Unfinished note. I'm giving you all the Kayshurrr noises. At least I'm not doing Donald Duck again. No more Donald Duck sounds. I'm going to the verboten domain. With the priestess. I know not if any means of shedding the blight exist other than purification. Alas, we won't see one another for a while, Sigrid. My heart aches more than you know. I long to hear your voice, to hold you in embrace. How I wish to be with you. Were our situations reversed, you would be the one taking her to this dangerous place. Couldn't bear it. Fine with being the one to go. As long as you are safe, Sigrid, that's enough. Look, even I know when enough is enough. Donald Duck noise was done. Oh no! Hey, Sigrid, it's your sissy. Meow. Not Silva! Ow, she hits hard! You ready? Oh, that was the wrong button. I didn't mean to hit that! Damn it. Damn it. Getting that upgrade for the Umbral Knight, very good. I'm very glad we got it. Boy, does he hit hard. Okay, she also hits hard, but we got her down to like a third of her health. And I don't imagine this fight would be... Yeah, music, very good. I am here for it. I imagine this fight would be a lot more difficult if we didn't get those 2 upgrades on Umbral Knight. But we did. So there's nothing you can do about it. Okay. No, don't keep calling for your sister, please. It's heartbreaking. This game do got style. I love it. I love it so much. Eee! Ouch! Right as I was healing too! What a bitch. What a bitch. Alright. Sigrid, I'm not gonna feel bad about killing your sister anymore. She is trying my patience. Let's go. Do-do-do-do-do. Boop-a-boop-a-boop. Is she gonna get a cool transformation like Sigrid did? That'd be pretty dope. Ew. Ew. Let's get our crow friend out. I don't think she will. She probably would have, like, the first time we fought her, right? Ouch. Fucking hell! Every time, right as I'm about to heal up, I need to pay attention to my health. Look at my dang health. Stop getting greedy and look at my dang health. Alright. Yes. Girl's got wings, which makes me think, or maybe we might also get wings. Or a big hammer lady, which would be pretty cool too. That'd be alright. Okay. Crow friend. No! Ma'am! Those daggers, though! Cyril, hi! Is this the transformation? There it is. That's not great! That's not fucking great! She got all of her fucking health back! I knew it. I knew she was gonna. That's what happened with Sigrid. That's what Sigrid did. Okay, hold on. Let's rest. How's it going, Cyril? How are you doing? How's it doing? Is it? That's a first. Good to know. It heard me talking shit the other day, and I guess it's, upped its game a little bit. It looks different, it's doing a good job. It's the same one that I've been using. Maybe it got an update recently, who knows? That'd be dope. That'd be good. Yeah, it does it bad pretty regularly. Actually. But hey friend, how's it going? How are you doing? Baby, good! This is fine. Well, now that we've pointed out that it was doing a good job, it's like, oh shit, gotta go back to doing it bad. It's so good! I would highly recommend anyone and everyone play this fucking game. It's so good! Here, let's do a murder on Sigrid's sister. And also get Sigrid to help out with it because, like, look, girl. Fucking hell. Stop! Good, you should. Okay, alright. Sorry, it's serious boss time. Stop throwing your dumbass daggers! Silva! Silva! I don't like it when I get hit with the dumb daggers. Ma'ams! Aw, hugs. So cute, so cute. How was the end of your stream, Cyril? How'd it go? Doop. Doop, doop, doop. Doop, 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 doop. Okay. Let's do this. Ma'ams, let's go. Fucking hell. Fucking hell! She bumps me a little, and then takes like a quarter of my health. I need to time my dodges better. I need to die. This is not the run. We've done it very bad this time. Okay, that's fine. That's acceptable. I fucked it up too soon. This is for the best. Thank you, game though. Do we got... This is the run. I should probably use Eileen a little more. She's a good... She's on the other page though. But she's good. She's a good spirit. She's got some good dang moves. She doesn't hit very hard though. Bam. Look, Silva, I got a whole dang hour of stream left. I can do this all stream. If she could stop with the daggers, though, that would be great. Least favorite move. This is it. Yeah, any red explosion that the bosses do doesn't hurt, it just yeets me. They also want to see me do the dodge flop, so they're like, here, let me help you. It's one reason why I don't necessarily panic when she starts, when she changes phases, because it's not gonna hurt me. It's a good time to, like, stop and heal, but sometimes it's just not worth it. Cause yeah, Aylan, when we were fighting her, she did the same thing. And it did not hurt me, it just threw me. That's fine. Let's go. Nah, it's good, it's good. Those daggers hurt so bad! Hold on, I hit the wrong button. I was trying to hit my shield button. I want to see if that works against the daggers. Because if it does, then I should probably do that instead of trying to dodge through them. I mean, you would expect it to. I'm just trying to figure out the window for it. Okay. Brit's the best. Good snack, good snack. I wonder... Hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. Big cup! That's how I heard it. Only in like a deeper voice, an even deeper voice, but big cup! No! Captions? No, that's incorrect! Big cup. That's wrong. It did it wrong. Captions, no. Okay, I can't time the little deflecting ball for the stupid hammer attacks. So dodge flop through everything. Dodge flop OP when you know how to use it. No, you gotta tell them that I'm screaming about big cocks over here. It's fine. It's fine. This sucks so much. I just want to get through this dang fight, and because of that, I keep making dumb mistakes. Especially since I know she has a second phase now. I'm just like, I just want to get through this one so that I can get to the next one. Sorry, I gotta like reposition myself. Let's get all comfy again. Welcome back, Sarah. You're about to redeem a hydrate? You can still redeem a hydrate. I had soda. I didn't drink water. I didn't drink any of the water. I drank a soda. Also, yeah, 100% very similar feel to Hollow Knight. Only, I would still say, like, kinder as far as combat goes, because it's not... Because you don't have to, like, recover your body at all. If you die, you just get sent back to the last save spot, and that's it. You still level, you still, you keep all of your items and stuff. Oh, speaking of items, I do have burps. new relics that I can use. Honestly, this game is so good, and I like it. It's challenging enough that, like, for people who like harder games, I think this would satisfy it, but it still has enough of... It's still kind enough that people who may not necessarily like really hard punishing games could still enjoy it. Would highly recommend. Honestly. Ooh, spirit uses. Or... cooldown. No, no cooldown. Yeah, we'll increase our spirit uses for things. We just need one more slot to be able to equip everything. Yeah, you're always leveling, which is nice because you're not losing XP upon death. Which is really, really cool. Sweet, sweet dirt naps. But just a little sleep. I sleep right here. I take nap right here. Some of the bosses have been like really easy, some of them have been harder, but it doesn't necessarily... It's nice, because you still feel really accomplished regardless of what it is. There's lots of mini bosses, which is really cool. The big boss fights are really awesome. We got really stoked about the last one. The one that we did on Monday. So good. Also, I just jumped into her. It's a good game, and I would highly recommend it. Everyone play this game so we can, like, scream about it together. I mean, we can still scream about it together, but I want other people to play it so that we can scream about it. You know. You know how it is. Hey, Miam, if you could not go in the direction that I'm going, that would be cool. Stop! I also enjoy it when I get hype about games. No, but seriously, like, I'm madly in love with this one and would, like, highly recommend it. This bitch just stomped on my face. Let's go. Let's go. It's also nice just because there have been, like, quite a few disappointing games recently. Oh, hold on. Hold on. We got a voice mod request. Do you have a specific one that you would like? Hold on. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pop over here real quick. You're gonna stop hearing the music for a second because I gotta switch screens. Because voice mod was the only thing that I didn't pull up on the proper side of the screen. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Give me just a dang old second, though. There it is. You knew. You just knew. There we go. Hey. Okay. Yeah, you guys get to enjoy... Sorry, I thought it updated, but I was looking at the wrong one. You're a little girl, not a worshipper. Battle mech, so it's outside Sarah's expertise. It's fine. It's okay. But yeah, Cyril, do you have a specific voice mod you would like? Cause I got them pulled up. They're here. Baby? A baby? You want the baby? You would like the baby? Would you like to hear the baby? I can have you hear the baby. Are you ready for the baby?
Here is the baby. Hopefully it's on. Is it working? Here is the baby. Let me set up a 5-minute timer. And there y'all go. It's baby time. I'm so sorry, Fruity. Wait, hold on. It's gonna disappear. And then it's gonna come back. And it's gonna be great. Are we ready to do the thing? Let's go. This is our sweet, sweet child's voice. And hello, I am Sweet Lily Cinnamon Bun. This is my actual voice. She hasn't spoken, is the thing. She doesn't talk. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. I will not turn it off. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'm sorry, friends. Wake me up. Wake me from my nap. I can't wake up. Wake me from my nap. Save me. Call my name and save me from my nap. I hope that didn't peak too much. It's probably also out of tune, but you know, singing baby's pretty good. Okay, but what about singing baby Goofy? What about that? Oh, we've done it bad this time. Too distracted by everything that was going on, it's fine. So baby voice is good as long as we're singing songs. Noted. Alright, well in that case, tap, tap, tap. Happy birthday to you. No, I'm not gonna do that. That was enough. I can't commit to that. I won't do that to you guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna die. Fucking hell. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. That's fine. I just want to be in a damn box so I can listen to like good music. That's all. Why is that asking too much? And Bean, let have. Ooh, hiccups. I gotta remember to summon my crow once she transforms. Please, Silva! You stupid bitch! I like her sister better. She hits
Baby done. Done, baby. No more baby. Alright, I gotta figure out which way I'm gonna dodge. I am shocked that I managed to get out of that unscathed. Alright. Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to fly forward a little more when that happens, so that you don't jump on top of me. Because I would like to not get jumped on, squished like a bug. Ma'am. Please! Alright, 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 come here! Let's go. It's also unfortunate because when you get hit once, you usually end up getting hit twice in a row. Which then is extremely unfortunate because that's like all of your health just gone. And I get it. She's like the guardian of the White Priestesses. She's gonna be tough. But has she considered not being the way that she is? Look, look! I'm trying. Oh my god. Not the cheap shots. Fucking hell. Okay, well, got fairly far down that time. She still got the daggers, it's true. She doesn't need the daggers, she hits hard enough as is, but she is not giving up the daggers. Unfortunate. But look, we managed to get partway through the official second phase, so that's exciting. That's all we gotta do, we just gotta slow down. That's all. Be less greedy. Get a couple hits in, dodge. Get a couple hits in, keep dodging. It's fine. Okay, come on. Ma'am, have you considered not doing what you're doing? Yikes. Don't jump on me! It would have been better had I not gotten hit a couple of times while she was transforming. Okay. Alright. 2 heals to spare. There's Crow Friend. Get Sigrid in there. Go kill your sister, Sigrid. It's fine. Yikes. I don't want to be in here! yikes, 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 yikes! There we go! There we go! Got her! Down! We're fine! Everything is good! We did the thing! Now she's dead! And it's all good. I'm sorry for everything. You fucking should be. We did it. First try! I was not worthy of being the priestess's guardian. Thought I found a way to protect her from the blight. In the end, my only choice was to flee. Ooh, someone did their job bad. Blight washed over the land like an ever-consuming wave. Sheep and shepherds of the cathedral alike all eventually became blighted. Now, my body feels not quite my own, a stranger within my own flesh. Oh shit! Foul mages and their blasted potion. I was meant to be her guardian. Protected the White Priestess, now turned a brutal killer. She got like fungus growing out of her face. Madness. Is this the work of the Blight? Or who I truly am inside? Sigrid, if I could see you before there's nothing left of me. You were the only one I truly wished to protect. My beloved sister. I only wished! Excuse me. Beth. Thanks. Guardian Silva. Chains attacks with a hammer! Hold to charge an attack. Charge attacks cause more damage and cover a wider area. Silva became a guardian to protect her beloved sister. Knowing full well it would separate them, she took on the burden of guarding the priestess. Hell yeah! Fuck yes! Jump dash! What is this? When SP gauge is full, press up, plus the button of desired means skill. An ancient power that awakened after the White Priestess took on an incredible amount of blight. The defiled souls of the blighted are unleashed to wreak havoc, as they did in once life and once more. Oh, that's cool. Build the SP gauge by attacking enemies. Once it's full to perform last rites and inflict tremendous damage. Basically, yeah, it's a limit break. It's the guardian of the White Priestess of the Fount. And we must be close. Blight spreads even further. It is said that priestesses have hold over their senses despite the blight, but this seems far too much for anyone to bear. Eh, we're fine. We do- well, actually, maybe we're not. We appear to be more corrupted than we were before. As important as purification is, a priestess must also think of herself. I dare not say it, but you might be the last of your kin. There would be no shame in running from all this. No one remains who could condemn you for it, or condemn you if you did. For my part, I want you to live, to leave this land behind. Mom? Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Never should have awakened. Yet now our fate is in your hands alone. I'm sorry. Only you can end the curse of the eternal blight. I'm like, we're all kind of covering up her stuff, but that's fine. At the furthest reaches in the distant spring, there are waters yet untainted, clear and blue. It's a sensuous sacrifice all over again. That fucking game. That fucking game. I loved that game. It's a good game. This is... yeah, we're 100% more corrupted. Well, that's a problem. Ah! We're fine. She's fine. Whee! I love it. I love it so much. these ladies to stop eating their stupid yo-yos at me. Preferably, I guess we should probably go this way because there is... Whee! Ah! We want to go this way because there is a save spot over here, and I think this is where that spider with the blight is. Yeah. Filthy residue. Thanks. Let's sit down, take a quick rest, because oh boy, are we not looking great. Let's put Silva here. Let's trade out Sigrid for Blob Baby. Because we love us a Blob Baby. Got some new memories. Can we enhance anything? Not quite. That's okay. Let's go ahead and save. We still got plenty of time to do some more stuff. Can I get there now? I don't know that I can. That is quite the jump. Ooh, no, I would like to go back up. Let me go back up. Let me go. Ah! Bad flies everywhere. Please. Okay. We can backtrack so much now, though. Which is extremely exciting for me. There is so much to be gotten. How do I get... Oh! 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 Check it out! Bad blob in there. That's okay. We can work with that. Probably. I want to get there. I want to go there. I want to go to there. Be careful, there's a bad blob with lots of holes. I'm so sorry. I will try to kill it as quickly as possible so that none of us have to look at it ever again. I bet that this move that we have is how we're supposed to get into that room with the other bad blob. You know? You dig? Give me that. Holy spring water increases the potency of the healing prayer. Bottle of water drawn from the fountainhead, a spring in the hinterlands where the white priestess of the fount was born. It said the priestess was named after the place of her birth and named so just like the priestesses that came before her. Okay. You're safe now. For now. Swim, 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 swim. Swim, swim, swim. Okay. Where else should I go? Yikes. 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 Okay, let's not go back down here for a little bit. We don't need to be down there. We do, however, need to go back to a lot of places, actually. I'm still not entirely sure that, like, we can get everywhere that we've previously seen that we need, like, an extra jump for. Let's go ahead and equip that. I like healing. Can we go... Okay, yeah. I think the rest of the stream is just gonna be us backtracking a little bit. Getting stuff that we weren't able to get previously. Hans. Dead Hans. He's good horse. You're the one who hates horses, right? Cyril hates horses, right? It's you. Confirmed. I'm gonna heal up for no real reason. Okay. It's you. Confirmed. That's fine. I'm not one to judge about the dislike of certain animals. As someone who fucking despises rabbits, I get it. I mean, horses hate a lot of things. It's true. Sir. Okay. Oh, so close. Cyril. 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 But yes. Got it. Valid. I don't know. I had a horse. He was pretty cool. We liked him. His name was Lightning. He was a small fat boy and we loved him. He is currently at somebody else's house. He's still alive. He had to get boarded up at somebody else's. He's not a pony though. He's just a miniature horse. But he was just like a big dog. I will have to send you some videos of this big goober who loved his giant yoga ball. No! I don't remember what his breed is, but not all mini horses are ponies. He is not a pony. I'll have to figure out what all of his nonsense is. They're weird. We had a lot of mini animals at one point. We also had miniature donkeys. They were also like dogs. Big, dumb, sweet dogs. Yeah. Miniature burritos. They were good. We loved them. Basically all the weird animals that we've had have used to be, here to keep the sheep safe since we've got a coyote problem. And donkeys will, in fact, kick a coyote in the head to protect a herd. And it's very good. I don't think I can get... please post haunts in the Discord. Murder donkey's good. We love a good murder donkey. Nah, we had 2 miniature donkeys. One was the mom, and the other was one of her kiddos, and their names were Eva and Lynn. I can't particularly laugh at that. We were all either horse or dog girls. Or into outer space or dinosaurs, or a mix thereof. You've posted haunts. Oh god. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I know pretty much all of you have access to the Discord, right? However, I just need... Look at that. Haunts. Oh my god. Did y'all see... Where is it? Did you see my centaur Shaggy? Because he was also very good. Speaking of weird horses. Where did he go? Where did he go? I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna find him. He's here somewhere. Oh no, what have you sent me? Allie, what is this? Allie, what is this? Oh no. Oh no. AI's attempting to make horses. I'll have to look at that later because the formatting of the website's fucking weird. I mean, horses are hard to understand. It's true. It's very true. Hold on. I gotta find... Where is this stupid edit that I made? Where is it? I'm gonna find it. We're gonna sit here until I find it. I'm sorry. It's been decided. Just gotta scroll. Just gotta keep scrolling. There he is. There he is. There he is! Centaur Shaggy. You're welcome. Chance. Do you like how he doesn't have a hand and just has a wrist nub? Because every picture that I found of that particular scene of Shaggy being like... they didn't have a hand in any of the pictures, and so I was like, well, wrist nub it is. But there's that. Good times. It's just a wrist nub now. He lost it in the war. It's true. Yeah, of course I made this curse! I made this! Hi, I make monstrosities in my spare time. I thought we knew this about me. So yeah, hey, if nobody has, I don't know, Cyril. I don't know. But, it is a thing. As I say, if somebody doesn't have a costume for Halloween, just tell me what you want to be and send me a picture of your dang face, and, I'll make you a Halloween costume. I'll Photoshop you a Halloween costume. Let's go. That's not what I wanted to do. It's true, it's true. If you've got an idea that you want to see come to life in a very bad fashion, hit me up. Bad stuff. Very bad stuff. Yeah, so that's a thing. Also, sorry, back to the game. I feel like we're nearing the end. The way that the Umbral Knight was talking about us calling it quits on things, and just how far gone we're getting with this blight situation makes me feel like we're starting to get there. Oh, I mean, hell yeah. Look, I was doing Monster Factory before Monster Factory was a thing. You should see a couple of the Dark Souls characters that I have created recently. Like Kayshurrr. We love Kayshurrr. Kayshurrr is a good boy. Oh boy! Well, that's one way to get up there. Okay, fair. Unending. You are correct. Kayshurrr is a good lad. I figure we'll probably do one ending on stream, and then I'll leave the rest up to everyone else to find and figure out. Depending on what the ending is, though. If I don't find it satisfying, we will continue to play more. Slightly increases the amount of blight or experience acquired. Okay. This red ribbon is now stained a deeper crimson. After becoming blighted, the girl held onto her beloved ribbon, tainting it as well. I mean, for sure, and I think that's one reason why I wouldn't want to, like, necessarily, like, ending hunt on stream. Plus, I wount't mind, like, wandering around and trying to figure out all the endings for myself either. So it'd work out that way, you know. Also, there was a door, a secret door over here, but I don't know where the lever for it is. Hence why it's a secret door. This door, right here. I'm curious. Okay, so this is the thing that just came to mind. Spitballing here a little bit. Alright, we're gonna think about this. But I wonder if your level is tied. I mean, obviously, your level is kind of tied to your transformation, right? Because it just said that experience is blight, blight is experience. I wonder if you can get through the game with minimal levels, therefore being less tainted? You dig? See what I'm getting at? Excuse you. Kind of like a pacifist run. Less, I mean, because you would have to beat the bosses, right? But like, if you maybe beat it with like under a certain level, you would get a specific ending. I'm saying this without knowing what the endings are like already, but it's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting. Because I assumed that the change in our appearance was scripted, just like, oh hey, you beat this boss. Biome is good for a starter house. Meadows. Always meadows. But near a forest, but not in a forest. You want to be able to collect that good core wood. And all that copper. You're welcome. Also, Cyril, you should play in our server. You should play Valheim with us. Come play Valheim with us. Okay, can't go there. Boop. Not me trying to get every single person I know to play Valheim with us. Do it. Do it. I'll be getting on after stream. Ooh, wait, I got up there, didn't I? Didn't I? Okay. But yeah, we practically play every night together as a group. But server's open at all times. Oh, I didn't make it. Birdie's very specific form of architectural design. No. Pretty good. I want to get up there! Why is that not enough? I did die on Fruity's house. But to be fair, it's my own damn fault for crawling on the roof. Because that's what I do. But yeah, no, seriously, you should join the server. All the information is in the Valheim tab in my Discord. And if you're having issues with it, let any one of us know and we'll walk you through the various troubleshooting methods we've had to do to get through it. But yeah, you should play Valheim with us, Cyril. Please and thank you. Okay, where we need to go down. Oops. What time is it? 8:41. Nah, for sure. Whenever you get a chance. No rush, no pressure. All good. Thanks for the pads. Perfect. But yeah, just know it's there. And that we would love to have ya. Okay. I like going out on a boat. That's what I do in Valheim. I sail. It's good. It's good times. Mushroom buddies! It's true. Fruity is the designated bridge builder. It's very good. Allie is the organizer. Travis likes to figure out how best to break things. Both the game and objects. It's all very, very good. How in the world do I get where I'm going to? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Right, I gotta clear this out so we can get through here quickly to open up the door? Yeah. It's true. Jen is causing problems all the time. If there's any problem that happens, it's Jen's fault. He did it. Goodness gracious. Alright. Made it through. Should we go beat the bad blobby boy? Now that we got that good, fast, dodgy move. Ouch. Not Mr. Blobby! Not Mr. Blobby. I hate Mr. Blobby. An actual thing of nightmares. Look, usually I find creepy mascots extremely endearing. Not Blobby, though. Not Mr. Blobby. Stop crawling up onto the ledges, you idiot child! Look at this. Look at this. You've nearly killed yourself. Now we only have one heal. Okay, but what if we just, like, stand over here? Wasn't even concerned. Wasn't even an issue. I was expecting him to be a whole dang boss. But, he was not. Oop, nope. Subterranean lab. Oh. Oh. Blight hangs in the air up ahead. Breathing in any amount is dangerous. Or that we had some sort of magic implement to mask our face. Like a mask? You mean like a mask? Hey, Umbral Knight, do you mean like a mask? New enemy just dropped. Or a cowl. Or a cowl. Yeah, alright. Eee! Ah! Eee! Oh! This sucks! Not like, no. Travis. Travis. Oh, this is all bad! I like this music. Ah! I need everything to stop hurting me. Preferably. Stop. I don't trust this place. The ancients did battle here. One final stand. Okay, so I can't go here. This is actually an exit. Okay. Big ol' yikes. Yeah, I'm starting to, like, reconsider murdering everything. Oh no. Fruity. Why? Mr. Blobby is terrifying. Fucking hell. Okay, I can't go there. That's bad. Do I have to go back up? Like, I can't go anywhere. We need a mask. I am worried. We are 100% gonna catch the purples down there, and I don't like it. Oh, there's the item. Phaeton's Archives 3. Took some negotiating, but we've finally been cleared to investigate the verboten domain. We've settled on calling ourselves the King's Mage Brigade. Stupid name. Though I must admit, I find the name a bit silly. Okay. Sorry. My assistant Muriel is with me, though she doesn't seem to like the shape of the mask I made for her. I may be gifted in manners of the arcane, but I must admit I lack a proper aesthetic sense. Where is Muriel? That's the real question. Not this boy. I went the wrong way. I do like that good attack, though. Oh. Okay. Oh, I could have fast traveled, couldn't I? Okay, but there are... It says there are items still in this room. I would like to know where. Smiley, hi! How's it going? How are you doing, friend? Ooh! Not me getting got. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I need to heal. So many friends are here, and it makes me very happy. Bam! Okay, alright. Right! There's an item up there. I cannot get there, though. Which means... there are still more moves? Well, there you go. Can hang out with us for a little bit. It's not a spooky game. It's spooky cute. But it's more cute than it is spooky. We're happy to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, sorry. Itchy. Okay. What? Where? I should have a list of all my moves, right? Somewhere? There it is. We got the Last Rites, which is the special attack. Guardian's Wings. Yeah, that's the dodge slide, which is bubble. Okay, so we don't have anything new, really. Dodge flop. The best move. Just trying to see if there was like another way to like make my jump better, but there does not seem to be, so that's extremely unfortunate. But I wonder, we could explore the... oh, everything's back. Okay. Yeah, I feel like the big thing right now is just backtracking and trying to revisit places that we haven't been, because I can't really progress in the lab at the moment, because we don't have a mask, and we need one. For all of the blighted smoke that is around there. Ooh. That's okay. Just means we can end up getting more corruption. And, yeah, level up a little more. It's cool. It's fine. Please, game. I'm trying to dodge. Let me dodge. Also at the part where we're trying to recall everywhere that we need to go. It's a lot of information. Okay. I mean, we're fine. We're fine. It's fine. Right, there's a shortcut, isn't there? And I have taken it and then subsequently gone back again. Oh. Oh. What did Travis do? Travis, what have you done? Not a dump chest! Not the dump chests. Bad chest, more like, am I right? I have no idea where I'm going. This is where we started out from. Why are you in the plains? Travis, don't go into the plains. We're not there yet. Okay. There is supposedly an item in here. Not the longhouse. We gotta finish up all of the good real houses. But I am seriously here to try to make longhouse at some point. I know we're all about making new friends and saying hello to new folks, but have you considered not when it comes to the plains? Bad. Frog kelp man. Where does this go? I don't want to leave here. Where is Frog Kelp Man? There he is. And his friend, Kelp Frog Man? Is he not here? He may not be here. And that's fine. Let's get some more heals. That's where I want to go. How far up do I need to go for it, though? Probably as high as I can go. No, I absolutely cannot make it there. Feck. Travis probably didn't get a screenshot. Boop, 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 boop. How do I get there? I have played Gree! Kayshurrr. Gotta get that emphasis on that H, I get it. No. I have played Gree before and I loved it. It's a very good game. I can see it being similar. I went on a slight tangent about this earlier. In a good way. I really like this game because I think it gives enough of a challenge that people who like really hard games can be challenged and enjoy it, but it's still kind enough in regards to its death system that you don't lose anything when you die. So even for like more casual players or people who don't necessarily like difficult games, I think could also really enjoy this one. Also, increased aquatic movement speed. Heck yeah. No, I saw you. I knew you were there, buddy. You still did a chomp on me, but just pretty art, good gameplay. I liked Gree. It was very pretty. It was a good game. How do I get in there, though? Oh, there's Frog Kelpman. Kelp Frogman! expanded lore on Frog Kelpman and Kelp Frogman. They're actually twins, which adds to the whole rivalry that they got going on. Not sexy tax frog! Not DILF tax frog! I'm sure he does the taxes of Frog Kelpman and Kelp Frogman. How could you forget the tax frog? How? Also, I died, and I have to go back. But, that's okay, because it is time to end. Oh, I got it. Okay. That's a relic. That's fine. We'll save the game there. Tax frog is powerful. It's true. It's very true. I know. I'm sorry, Smiley. We'll raid a friend who has good, fun content that's delightful and fantastic. But I have been streaming for 3 hours, and I need to stand up and stretch before I continue to sit to play some Valheim. Because that is my oh no, I forgot. I ate before stream. I did it good today. Sorry, I still have Centaur Shaggy pulled up. I still have Centaur Shaggy pulled up. Oopsies. Wrist nub. No hand, only nub. It's good. I don't see what's wrong with that. We were watching Scream a few weeks back. I could give him a hook hand. Does he need an eye patch, though? 3 peg legs? I'm imagining the peg legs not actually where the horse legs are, but, like, near the horse legs. So he's got the 4 perfectly functional horse legs, but then just 3 random peg legs coming out of the lower half of his torso. Hand door, hand hook, card. No. You guys. Come on. Alright, let's see. Please don't say 3 pegs. Not like Mushu Port. Let's go ahead and get the raid messages up. Alright, everyone, well, practically everyone that I have on right now is doing various spooky games. Let's see, we've got Mrs. Kiwi doing some Dead by Daylight. ATM Zero's also doing some Dead by Daylight. Okie Dokie Okumi is doing some Genshin Impact. Princess Mizi's doing some Outlast. Does anyone have any suggestions? Tatsuya is playing some Tales of Vesperia and Mizi. Sounds like you gotta follow some more people. I say, I also need more people in the evenings. Does anybody have any recommendations? Shmee? Is that how you say it? Shmee? I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Let's go hang out with them. That sounds good to me. We like some good chill content. Despite what we do here, we like some good chill content. Let's go ahead and start that raid. Oh! Do they not have raids? We can do a manual raid. Because it looks like they have raids turned off at the moment. Which is okay. You can still take the raid raid messages that I have put up, and just go hang out with them. I'll give them a host since Sorry, typing and talking at the same time does not work very well. This is how we're getting around all of the nonsense. So if people want, I'll go ahead and do a shout out for them. I think that's how you spelled it. Cool. Let's go hang out with a new friend. Say hello. Treat him good. It is unfortunate that we can't do an actual raid, but that's okay. But yeah, we'll be back on Friday. Figure out what's going on. I still don't know what the plan is for the afternoon stream, but I'll let y'all know. Until then, take care, rest well. I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Take care, rest well. I'll see y'all later. I love ya. Be great.